and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Apparently, Trump is the big villain, the big bad guy. And according to the local law enforcement in Georgia, only in Georgia, that Trump needs to turn himself in. So former U.S. President Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants accused of racketeering are set to be booked on their charges at the county jail in Georgia. Oh, yeah, it's a prison break. Oh, come on, it's a prison break. Everybody get ready to run, for it is gonna be a prison break. A prison break in Georgia. A departure from the courthouse proceedings seen in his 3 other criminal cases. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office announced a decision on Tuesday saying that Trump and other defendants could appear at the local jail to turn themselves in at any time, though noted the plan is still subject to change due to the unprecedented nature of the case. So yes, everyone's upset at Trump. Everyone's upset at Trump because what? He said that 2020 didn't go his way. Well, you know what? Let's be clear here. Let's be very, 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 very clear here. This is all of it has to deal with how 2016 played out. Case in point, everyone's favorite dog, Hill Dog, wants to weigh in on it.
And his enablers to try to silence the truth, to try to undermine democracy, have been brought into the light, and justice is being pursued.
One of the things that we've learned by living it in these past few years is that democracy needs the trust of the people.
That's right.
That the system of democracy at its heart is the idea that the people get to decide how we are governed. And if we no longer believe that our will is effectuated through the system, if bad actors tell us falsely that every election is stolen and that the only way an election is trustworthy is if they come out on top of it.
Really, Rachel? Let's hear that again from you one more time.
And that the only way an election is trustworthy is if they come out on top of it.
Interesting. One more time, just in case people might have missed that.
If bad actors tell us falsely that every election is stolen and that the only way an election is trustworthy is if they come out on top of it, then something it tells you something not just about that person or that moment. It maybe wounds us as a democracy in a way that is hard to repair. Mm. What do you think about how we get better after the wounds that have been inflicted on us through this process?
The wounds. Oh my goodness. Everyone was crying in 2016. Everyone was crying when Trump got elected. Oh, who cares? No one cares. No one cares about your feelings. Everyone's struggling right now, but they still can't get over 2016 that Hill Dog never made it to the White House.
Well, I think, the truth matters. I think having these cases be brought in such professional manners, we'll see how they unfold. Obviously, the trials, if there are trials, are going to be critically important. But the article you mentioned that I published about the weaponization of loneliness really does, in my view, point to the larger cultural concerns.
All right, enough of that. Because heaven forbid the Democrats' hypocrisy ever gets shown. It wouldn't be as if the Democrats would ever say, for example, that, maybe they weren't elected into office, that maybe, maybe the election didn't go their way. Hey, look at this. This is from Benny Johnson. Here's 24 straight minutes of Democrats denying election results. What? No, say it ain't so. Democrats? Hey, let's start off with good old Joe 30330 when he still had some functioning brain cells.
Or was the one who was elected president. And he claimed that the recount result was, quote, a bad decision.
And never forget, dear friends, what they did in Florida to Al Gore and me, to all of us, to older Americans, to African Americans, to Haitian Americans, denied the right to vote.
I do believe that the projections were right in the first place at 7 o'clock when they called it for Gore.
Let me tell you something. Without a doubt, George Bush did not carry Florida, and it was not close.
There's no question that you won the state of Florida.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
No, it's a question. That's a question.
We will never know because the votes weren't counted. But
and did, in your judgment,
I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And there is no other way of saying it but be very blunt. Al Gore won the state of Florida in 2000, and we should never forget it.
Most Americans, or a great many Americans, don't have confidence that the election of 2000 was fair.
But I don't believe we lost. I believe we just failed to have all of the votes counted.
The Supreme Court elected the president. 2004, yeah.
Oh, hey, look, it's everyone's favorite person, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the face of integrity and honesty. Oh, my God, she always looks haggard and tired.
Al Gore won
Okay, that was mean. But I'll say it again. She always looks haggard and tired.
the state of Florida in 2000, although not the presidency.
We know we won this election. They know we won this election. And Americans know we won this election.
I know some people want you to believe that the Gore campaign was a campaign that wasn't able to complete its mission. We did. Had all of those votes been counted in Florida, I think Al Gore would be president today.
We had more votes, we won, and we are never going to let the United States Supreme Court choose the President of the United States again.
You should know by now, based on the fact that he lost the popular vote by more than 500,000 voters. And we don't know how many he lost by in Florida.
There's no doubt in my mind that Al Gore was elected president.
I rise to object to the fraudulent 25 Florida electoral votes.
Really, we won the election in 2000, but they stole the election.
I must object because of the overwhelming evidence of official misconduct, deliberate fraud, and an attempt to suppress voter.
No, hang on. I also want to bring up something else here, too. Remember Stacey Abrams? Remember her? You might not remember her, but she guest starred on that hit TV show, Star Trek Discovery, STD. I mean, they call it DIS, but I call it STD. And no, I did not coin the term. Shout out to the fandom menace out there. You know, that other people came up with that, but you know, it's pretty clever. You know, Stacey Abrams played the president of Earth in the future. I fear the future now, because here's her. This video is 5 minutes straight of her denying how the election played out. What? Say it ain't so. A Democrat denying how the voters actually voted? Say it ain't so.
I do have one very affirmative statement to make. We won. But I didn't lose. I got the votes. But we won't know exactly how many because of how they cheated. I did win my election. I just didn't get to have the job. We were robbed.
What?
Of an election.
Using the word rigged, using the word steal. Do you think it's dangerous going into 2020?
I don't, because we can actually back it up. And so in response to what I believe was a stolen election, and I'm not saying they stole it from me, they stole it from the voters of Georgia. In fact, someone outside asked if I'm ever going to concede. The answer is no.
This is not a speech of concession, because concession means to acknowledge an action is right, true, or proper. And I will not concede, because the erosion of our democracy is not right.
People like that, man. Steal your election. It was not a free and fair election. I think the election was stolen from the people of Georgia. I believe it was stolen from the voters. Thousands of Georgians had their voices stolen because they were not able to cast ballots. And they cannot be guaranteed that their votes will be counted in 2020 if we don't do this right.
If what happens to you happens nationally, and we see whoever wins the Democratic nominee, if they say, actually, I can prove that there's a number of votes in every state and that the same thing that you just described happens in multiple states, should they concede?
I do not think we should concede an election until we know the results of an election. I still fundamentally believed it could be fair. And that's just not how life works.
Yeah, and hey, check this out again. Democrats lying again. Here, let's fast forward a little bit. Again, this is again 20 minutes straight. Yep, let me go ahead and refresh it. Apologies for that, folks.
You can run the best campaign.
Election is it possible that we ought to use the word conspiracy and not be afraid of it?
And I sure wish Gore was president right now. He should be.
Well, he actually got elected.
Well, good.
A battle that by the will of the people
should have ended in victory. But tens of thousands of Florida votes either were not counted or tossed out in the 2000 presidential election.
5 Supreme Court justices trumped the votes of 51 million Americans. We should have let the entire state be recounted so that it was clear that Al Gore actually won the state of Florida.
And Al Gore won the election.
We had the election stolen from us. And you must admit that. They stole it. And we need a leader to help us get revenge.
A leader to get revenge. Utter hypocrisy. Again, here is the full 20-minute clip for all you lovely people to share. I'm posting it on Rockfin. Gonna post it on Rumble. There you go. And then also here, right here on YouTube as well, because all of you should share it. So let's get something straight here. What is the final takeaway? What is the final takeaway from this? The Democrats are hypocrites. All this talk of, oh, Al Gore should have won. Oh, Hillary should have won. Stacey Abrams should have won. The voters didn't vote right. I don't know how this entire thing with Trump will play out, but I will not be surprised if he once again is walking out of that courtroom, because they're going after him, right? But the thing is, and this is something that Vote Blue, no matter who, needs to remember. Hill Dog and everybody else could be charged with the exact same amount of crimes as Trump is being charged with. I hoped that 2024 would be entertaining, and so far it is delivering. And for that, if you want to find out more about what's going on, stay tuned to Hard Lens Media, folks, because this election cycle, we're still in 2023. 2024 is going to be a hell of a ride. Stay tuned to Hard Lens Media.